So, our lesson this afternoon is about verbs again. We are going to go over the three different types of verbs, and we are going to then do some practice so that you can see exactly again some examples so that you're more clear, and then you can practice a little bit more to understand the different types and how to identify them. So, the first one that we want to talk about is an action verb, and it's the one I think most of you are pretty good at. You're able to identify these because they show action. So it tells us what the subject of the sentence does. So we know when we're looking at these four sentences, Bill hit the ball. What did he do? He hit the ball. That's the action that happened, the physical action. The cat purred softly. I walked to school and Susan spoke to me. So those are all examples of action verbs. Now, some of them that are a little bit trickier that we are getting tripped up on are the linking verbs and the helping verbs. And those are the ones I really want to make sure that you understand today. So, as we know, a linking verb links or connects the subject to the predicate. It doesn't have any action, it literally just connects the beginning of the sentence to the end of the sentence. So, here are some common ones that we looked at the other day: am, is, are, was, were, be, been, seems, feels, and taste. So they don't have any action. So sometimes it's hard to identify them as a verb because we're so used to looking for the action word as the verb. But a linking verb is very important because if we did not put it in the sentence, it would not make sense. The sentence would not make sense. So if we just said, we hungry, that doesn't make sense. We don't talk like that. So you have to use a linking verb to say, we are hungry. He was late to school. The winner is Johnny, and the rose smells good. Okay? Now, helping verbs, I think they're easier to remember than linking because a helping verb helps the main verb. So there's going to be an action word, but then we look before it, and sometimes there's a helping verb as well. So it always comes before. So if you look at these examples, we have, I don't know what I just did. We have, I am eating my lunch. So am is the helping verb. Eating is the main verb because it is an action. Am helping, am eating. Has taken, Ed has taken the test. Say what has he done? He has taken the test. We were talking. So were is the helping verb because you wouldn't just say we talking. Okay? So what we're going to do next is I'm going to put a couple of examples up, and then we are going to look at whether or not we can identify them. So I have, they are watching television. So we know that they is the subject because it's who or what is doing something. Watching television, watching is an action, right? And then are is the helping verb. So this case we have are watching is the verb, and then it is a helping verb. Are is a helping verb. Next one, Frank was tired after work. So our subject is Frank. Was tired after work is the predicate. Was is going to be the verb here, and it is a linking verb because it is not an action. It's just connecting Frank to his feeling because he was feeling tired. So Frank was tired after work. My dad drove his car to the store. What did Dad do? He drove. So this one, the verb is drove, and it is an action verb. Does that make sense that you can see that? That is a physical action. He's driving. Okay, Finding Nemo is her favorite movie. Finding Nemo is the subject. Is her favorite movie is the predicate. But we have a verb here. It's not an action. We have a verb that is a linking verb because is links the subject to the predicate. I did my homework right after school. I is the subject. Did my homework right after school is the predicate. Predicate always includes the verb. The verb is did, and did is an action verb because physically I did my homework. And then the last one I want to share with you before I let you set you free and let you try some on your own. Anne was cooking dinner in the kitchen. So, Anne is the subject. What was she doing? She was cooking. Was is cooking in action? Yes, it is. So we have was cooking is the verb, and it's a helping verb with the main verb. So I want you to understand that the difference between action verbs, helping verbs, and linking verbs show no action, ever. A helping verb does exactly what it says it does. It helps the main verb. So we have to pay attention to the tense of the sentence, and if we didn't use a helping verb, sometimes that wouldn't make sense. So since it's cooking, on this example, we have Anne was cooking. We wouldn't say Anne cooking dinner in the kitchen. So since it has an ing on the end, we need to add a helping verb to make the sentence make sense. And then an action verb is just something that shows action. So what you're going to do next is you're going to click next in the bottom right hand corner, and you are going to pull up the assignment, and I want you to annotate. So you're going to click the annotate button in the upper right hand corner, which is the little pad with the pencil, and you are going to actually identify the verbs, and then you have to tell me what type it is. You, of course, may use your notes if you have some in your reading notebook. I know in that grammar booklet in the front, there may be some examples as well. So you can use that, or you can also use the paper that we worked on earlier this week if you have that handy. But you can also, if you need to, rewatch this to look at the examples. But I do want you to try your best to complete the sentences and be able to figure out what the verbs are and what type of verbs they are. So go ahead and get started.